The Battle of Algiers, directed by Gillo Pontecorvo and written by Pontecorvo and Franco Salinas, exemplifies third cinema's commitment to aesthetic realism and moral complexity, urging viewers to confront the costs of colonial violence and the ethical decisions of liberation struggles. A 1966 masterpiece, the film uses Italian neo-realist techniques, group-centered narratives, and newsreel-style cinematography to immerse audiences in a politically charged work. The Battle of Algiers' use of documentary aesthetics serves a dual purpose. It grounds the narrative in a believable historical context while enhancing the film's emotional impact. Pontecorvo's choice to shoot in black and white on newsreel stock gives the film an archival feel, suggesting the events depicted could be part of a live broadcast or historical footage. The choice is further supported by shooting on location in Algiers, with scenes set in Casbah capturing the chaotic street conflicts and dense urban landscape that defines the film's setting. These techniques not only enhance the realism, but demonstrate third cinema's call for politically engaged realism that falls outside Hollywood's polished, politically avoidant tendencies. Third cinema, a Latin American film movement that began with Brazilian filmmaker Glauber Rocha's 1965 manifesto, Aesthetics of Hunger, is characterized by its rejection of cinema as for-profit entertainment, neocolonialism, and capitalism. The term third cinema was coined by Fernando Solanas and Octavio Genoa in Toward a Third Cinema, which renounces Hollywood's model of promoting bourgeois values to passive, escapist audiences. It also contrasts with second cinema, considering it to be the European style, which dismisses American conventions in favor of the auteur director's individual expression. Rocha's The Aesthetics of Hunger encourages films to take specific political stances, writing, "The violence of a starving man is not a sign of primitive mentality." Furthermore, Cinema Novo, as Rocha titled it, teaches that the aesthetics of violence are revolutionary rather than primitive. The moment of violence is the moment the colonizer becomes aware of the colonized. The first policeman had to die before the French became aware of the Algerians. This specific example, selected by Rocha, is explicitly featured in the Battle of Algiers. In one powerful scene of the film, a young Algerian woman places a bomb in a cafe, killing dozens of innocents. This morally dubious act demonstrates the idea that violence forces the colonizer to become aware of the colonized. The film's long history with strong receptions began at its release in the Venice Film Festival when the French delegation walked out in protest. The film's neutral moral stance, a choice lauded by critics and partially responsible for the film's longevity, results in many instances of misinterpretation. A salient example occurred in 2003 when the Pentagon screened the film to encourage military personnel and civilian experts to discuss the Battle of Algiers within the context of the Iraqi invasion. The New York Times broke the story, reporting that officials used the film as a framework to discuss, quote, problematic but alluring efficacy of brutal and repressive means in fighting clandestine terrorists in places like Algeria and Iraq, or more specifically, the advantages and costs of resorting to torture and intimidation, end quote. This analysis of the film starkly opposes Pontecorvo's perception, reveals a unique aspect of this style of filmmaking. Its realism and moral neutrality allows it to be co-opted for purposes beyond its original intent, as audiences can interpret it according to their own political frameworks. As critic Roger Ebert noted, the film is both passionate and neutral, concerned with both sides, suggesting that its power lies in allowing audiences to project their own moral beliefs onto it. By examining the Battle of Algiers through a contemporary military lens, the Pentagon misappropriated the film's message, yet this incident underscores its lasting relevance as a politically charged artifact of cinematic history.
In your opinion, does the FLN still have some chance of defeating the French army?
Il demande, Monsieur Ben Midi, selon vous, le FLN a-t-il encore quelque chance de battre l'armée française?
Selon moi, le FLN a beaucoup plus de chances de battre l'armée française que celle-ci n'en a d'arrêter le cours de l'histoire.
Despite its humanity and objectivity in presentation of both sides, the filmmakers take a clear stance on the brutality of colonialism and inhumanity of torture. But in the words of Roger Ebert, what lessons a modern viewer can gain from the film depends on who is watching and what they want to see.